Welcome to the desk. May I take this opportunity to assist you, a student, to be able to understand chemistry? And let's start with this topic on gas laws. It is possible for you to do well, like the students who have done before you. This question is on gas laws, and let's go through it. 50 centimeters cube of oxygen diffused through a porous plug in 80 seconds. How long will it take 100 centimeters cube of sulfur 4 oxide to diffuse through the same plug? S, which is the relative atomic mass of sulfur, is 32 and that of oxygen is 16. So this question has two alternative methods. Let me show you the first alternative method. So this one we are going to use time. There is a formula in Form 3 which says T of A over T of B, that is time of gas A and time of gas B, should be equal to square root of molecular mass or density of A over molecular mass or density of B. So on this one, I usually say it is horizontal A, B, B. Then before we start replacing and using this formula, we need to note, and this is where most students get wrong, the volumes are not the same. This is 50 of oxygen, this is 100 of sulfur 4 oxide. So we need to make the volume of oxygen to be equal to that where we've been asked final how long is 100 of sulfur 4 oxide. So how do we do that? We just say 50 centimeters cube takes 80 seconds. What about 100 centimeters cube of still oxygen? How long will it take? So that is 100 times 80 over 50. So that will mean it will take 160 seconds for it to diffuse. So from there, we now come and replace T of oxygen over T of sulfur 4 oxide should be equal to square root of let's use molecular mass of oxygen over molecular mass of sulfur 4 oxide. So we come and now replace time for oxygen was 160 seconds over time of sulfur 4 oxide, which we don't know, should be equal to square root of molecular mass of oxygen. Molecular mass will be atomic mass, which is 16 plus 16 is equal to 32 over that of sulfur. Sulfur is S, which is 32 plus 2 oxygens. 16 plus 16 is equal to 64. So that is like saying root of 32 over 64, root of 0.5. So root of 0.5 using the calculator, you can say 0.5 root. So that will give us 0.7071. Calculations in chemistry, you can put it into 4 decimal place. So 160 seconds over T of sulfur 4 oxide is equal to 0.7071. Let's make T of sulfur 4 oxide, that is time of sulfur 4 oxide, the subject. So by doing that, we will get 160 seconds will be equal to 0.7071 TSO2 over 0.701 over 0.701. So it means therefore finally we are able to get the time for sulfur 4 oxide to diffuse by saying 160 divided by 0.7071. That will give us 226.28 seconds. So that is the time. And for a student, if you come and reason and think about it, 226 is a longer time taken by sulfur 4 oxide than oxygen, which only took 160 seconds. It makes sense because if you look at their molecular mass, this one is 32, this one is 64. The molecular mass is equated as also the density. So it makes sense that this one is more dense, it is more heavier, and it will take longer time to diffuse because it is heavy. So that one, you will have earned yourself full 3 marks in that case. Thank you. See you in the alternative video.